On the 6th of February 1952, while on tour in Kenya, a young husband had to break the news to his wife of her father's passing. As heartbreaking as it was for the young girl to lose her father at such an early age, for her it started a lifetime of work and dedication to her country. Less than 18 months after her father's death, Princess Elizabeth sat upon the throne in Westminster Abbey, sworn in by both God and country as Queen. 70 years on from that day, the UK celebrates what is a milestone only two other monarchs have ever celebrated, her Platinum Jubilee. A lot has happened during Queen Elizabeth's reign, and like every senior royal, she needed ways to travel around the country quickly. Her great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria, had set the trend early in her reign: rail travel. And even today, railways are still the preferred way to get around. The National Railway Museum has several royal railway carriages. Today, to celebrate the Queen's 70th year on the throne, we will be looking at Queen Elizabeth's Royal Saloon. To have a look at Queen Elizabeth's royal train, we have to travel back in time a bit to the time of her father and uncle. During the Second World War, keeping morale was at the highest of importance. The war was dragging on longer than many feared, and the public, who were being rationed at the time, and with their sons, brothers, fathers and husbands fighting on the front lines, it was hard to keep going. The monarchy, fully aware, knew that they simply couldn't sit on the sidelines or in a bunker while the war blew over. Before the war, royal train was comprised of coaches used by the recently abdicated King Edward and Queen Alexandra. As trains were becoming a more popular target for the Germans, these wooden carriages simply wouldn't do, as they offered no protection if the train came under attack. In 1941, a top-secret project was handed to the LMS. With source materials such as metal and wood scarce, the company had to be given permission to build it. They were commissioned to build 2 coaches specially for royal families to use to travel safely around the country. A power car was also commissioned to power and support the 2 saloons. Unlike the royal trains of the past, which focused on lavish decoration and frills, the interiors were simple, bare-boned basics, and had everything the royal family would need on the move. The power car contained a double and a single bed, 2 bathrooms, generators and a brake and goods compartment to store any luggage, supplies and tools on the go. It was ideal for crew and servants. The saloons were again basic, and they were almost identical. The saloon had a main lounge with seating, a phone and a radio to communicate and listen to the news, and access to the main bedroom and bathroom for the royals to use. An attendant, usually the Queen's personal attendant or the King's personal assistant, would also sleep in the royal saloon in case there was a problem, so a secondary bed and toilet was added for this purpose. The outer of the carriages, though, were very different to what had ever gone before. The LMS added drop-eye buffers, buck-eye couplings and Pullman-style gangways in a company first, and armour-plated and side panelling was added to protect the royal family. These steel plates surrounded the carriages and were welded in, making each carriage a staggering 56 tons each. Coupled with the power car, this made a total train weight of the 3 coaches alone a staggering 154 tons. Compared to the Mach 1 coaches of 37 tons, it made these royal coaches the heaviest coaches to ever grace UK rails. Thanks to these coaches, the royals were able to visit areas they would not normally go, and morale soared. Princess Elizabeth contributed to the war in her own unique way by becoming a mechanic and joined the Auxiliary Territorial Service, maintaining the vehicle and land equipment. After the war was over, the King and Queen asked for the armour plating to be removed and were used up until the Queen's own Silver Jubilee in 1977. Following the replacement of the new coaches, the 2 saloons were put into the care of the National Railway Museum. Sadly, the power car was deemed not viable and was scrapped in 1991. The National Railway Museum preserved both coaches in their original state, and in 2007 it decided to gift one of the coaches to the Severn Valley Railway, which offered guided tours. Sadly, it's not possible to board the coach at the Railway Museum, but the coach is on display today. So how does Queen Elizabeth travel today? In the 1990s, the public started to criticise the royals of overuse of spending when it came to transport, so it's rare that the current royal train is used. If the Queen does travel by train and the royal train is not a viable option, then she and some royals have been known to use standard first class, which is much more cost effective. The royal train coach stock today consists of 7 1977 Mach 3 coaches and 2 coaches from the HST prototype. Each coach has a different purpose, so trains can be made from a selection of the stock depending on what the royals are needing. For example, for longer excursions, it may be prudent to attach the bedroom and bathroom car as well as the lounge and servant quarters, whereas for day trips, the train could consist of just the lounge and basic essentials. The rolling stock are complemented by 2 dedicated locomotives with a third on standby. For many years, the locomotive that pulled the royal train was designated by the railway companies themselves and depended upon the skills of the crew. If the train was selected, then for the crew it would be the highest honour. The crew would spend hours cleaning the locomotive until the brass and metal shone brightly. In honour of the royal train, a unique head code was created, signifying the train's importance. The crew, even today of a royal train, have to be very highly skilled. They have to be acutely aware of their occupant's schedule and adjust the train speed accordingly. For example, when the Queen wakes up, she takes a bath. The crew must adjust the train for this and slow down, otherwise the water will be everywhere. The crew must also be able to stop within 6 inches of a designated place so that the Queen's entourage, step and red carpet would always be by her door. Currently, the train is pulled today by 2 dedicated Class 67s, although modern steam trains such as Tornado have taken the train from time to time. The 2 Class 67s are painted in the claret livery of the royal household and are used in general traffic when not used by royalty. They are very economical and environmentally friendly, running on a mix of biofuel made from used vegetable oils. Although the stock is used for royalty, it doesn't mean others can't use them too. While the royal trains cannot be hired by the public, heads of state can request the royal train when needed, and when not in use, the train is looked after and stored by DB Cargo UK. Today, the royal carriage stock stands as a testament to both heritage and tradition, and even though they are not used much nowadays, it's very interesting to see how they lived and ruled on the move. And when you look at Victoria's carriage, which is opposite the royal train, it's also interesting to see the differences internally. I would recommend going up to see the carriages and the new exhibition Royals on Rails at the Railway Museum. It gives a great sneak peek on what the royals were doing on the tracks, as well as show off some of the lovely artefacts and items the railways created to celebrate a royal. I also want to say a massive congratulations and 3 cheers to Queen Elizabeth on her Platinum Jubilee. I will be doing what I do best in honour to Her Majesty and be volunteering at a festival in her honour and showcasing railway history in my hometown. But however you celebrate the Jubilee, whether it be a street party, a festival, a picnic or a concert, have a wonderful time and long live the Queen!